This happened during a Democrat administration, and it's when we first began hearing the word affordability. Our border was open, and because of this, our country was being invaded by an army of 25 million people, many who came from prisons and jails, mental institutions, and insane asylums. They were drug dealers, gang members, and even 11,888 murderers, more than 50% of whom killed more than one person. This is what the Biden administration allowed to happen to our country, and it can never be allowed to happen again. We had men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody.
Transgender for everybody. He loves that line. Like, he wants people to think that if the Democrats take back power, they're going to make everybody transgender instead of what we should do, which is make everybody have to pay less for healthcare and make everybody be able to afford a home and groceries.
Crime at record levels with law enforcement, and words such as that just absolutely forbidden. We had the worst trade deals ever made, and our country was laughed at from all over the world. But they're not laughing anymore.
Oh, they're laughing. They're laughing, Grandpa. They're fucking laughing at us right now because the United States has become an embarrassment under this administration. It has become a joke. We are the punchline of the world, and it's because of this incompetent and corrupt regime.
Over the past 11 months, we have brought more positive change to Washington
than
any administration in American history. There's never been anything like it, and I think most would agree. I was elected in a
That's certainly true. There's nothing been anything like this.
And all 7 swing states and everything else, with a mandate to take on a sick and corrupt system that really just took the wealth from people and crushed the dreams of the American people. For the last 4 years, the United States was ruled by politicians who fought only for insiders, illegal aliens, career criminals, corporate lobbyists, prisoners, terrorists, and above all, foreign nations, which took advantage of us at levels never seen before.
It's funny how they say immigrants are taking advantage of us. They say, oh, 30 million illegal aliens have come into this country and bought up all the homes. That's why you can't afford a home. That's literally what J.D. Vance says on the daily. Yet they also turn around and say, these immigrants are such desperate, poor, broke criminals that they're using up all of our welfare. They're using up our free health insurance and our SNAP and food benefits. It's like, you can't have it both ways. You can't say they're so rich that they're buying up the homes, and that's why houses are expensive, and they're also so desperate and poor that they're robbing people, killing people, and stealing our amenities. That's how you know they think you're stupid, and they think you'll just believe anything because you're gullible.
They flooded your cities and towns with illegal aliens. They decimated your hard-earned savings. They indoctrinated your children with hate for America. They just released a level of violent felons that we had never seen to prey on innocent. They caused war. They caused mayhem. They caused a horrible situation all over the globe. But now you have a president who fights for the law-abiding, hardworking people of our country, the ones who make this nation run, who make this nation work. And after just 1 year, we have achieved more than anyone could have imagined. Starting on day one, I took immediate action to stop the invasion.
He doesn't sound healthy, by the way, I will say. He sounds very ill right now. You can hear it in his voice. And notice, by the way, we can't see his hands. He's hiding them.
Of our southern border. For the past 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed into our country, a feat which everyone said was absolutely impossible. Do you remember when Joe Biden said that he needed Congress to pass legislation to help close the border?
Is he still talking about Biden?
He was always blaming Congress and everyone else. As it turned out, we didn't need legislation. We just needed a new president. We inherited the worst border anywhere in the world, and we quickly turned it into the strongest border in the history of our country. In other words, in a few short months, we went from worst to best. We're deporting criminals, restoring safety to our most dangerous cities. Just take a look at Washington, D.C. It's at levels of
The country has never been more dangerous. I mean, objectively speaking, you walk around, you're afraid of political violence. You're afraid of these MAGA right-wing nut jobs carrying firearms with no regulations whatsoever, killing children in schools. We hear nothing about the gun violence that has absolutely traumatized American youth. And if you think you're immune because you're not a school student anymore, well, it happens at grocery stores and malls and movie theaters, etc. Has this administration done anything to make your life safer? I highly doubt it.
Safety that we've never seen before. And they decimated the bloodthirsty foreign drug cartels. We did that all by ourselves with our people, and we're so proud of it because they were poisoning and destroying our population. Drugs brought in by ocean and by sea are now down 94%. We have broken the grip of sinister woke radicals in our schools, and control over those schools is back now in the hands of our great and loving states where education belongs. After rebuilding the United States military in my first term, and with the addition we are adding right now, we have the most powerful military anywhere in the world. And
oh, believe me, we know. We're giving trillions of dollars to the military while you can't afford groceries, you can't afford healthcare, you can't afford basically anything. We're all struggling. We're all living paycheck to paycheck, no matter whether you're making 100K or 90K, 50K. People are struggling in this country, but trust me, we understand the military has a lot of money, and we understand we send a lot of that to Israel, and they actually have free health insurance and free tuition for all colleges.
It's not even close. I've restored American strength, settled 8 wars in 10 months, destroyed the Iran nuclear threat, and ended the war.
He settled 8 wars in 10 months, supposedly, except for the 2 wars that everybody called on him to solve. Let's talk about the fake ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, as the genocide is ongoing and Trump is planning on investing real estate in that region, and the Ukraine war, which Donald Trump said he would end on day 1. It's now way further from ending than it was when he entered this office, and he has essentially sold out Ukraine, which is the complete opposite of America First, by the way.
War in Gaza, bringing for the first time in 3,000 years peace to the Middle East, and secured the release of the hostages, both living and dead. Here at home, we're bringing our economy back from the brink of ruin. The last administration and their allies in Congress looted our treasury for trillions of dollars, driving up prices and everything at levels never seen before. I am bringing those high prices down, and bringing them down very fast. Let's look at the facts.
Yeah, let's look at the facts. Inflation is rising. Jobs are losing. Right now, we're seeing the most job losses in this country since the 2008 recession. We lost 100,000 jobs in October. That was the month where the jobs report didn't get released, actually, because this administration delayed it. We also had the government shutdown. Of course, we had a lot of jobs lost from that, too. And that shutdown was because this administration wanted to make sure that you lose your health care.
Under the Biden administration, car prices rose 22%, and in many states, 30% or more. Gasoline rose 30 to 50%. Hotel rates rose 37%. Airfares rose 31%. Now, under our leadership, they're all coming down, and coming down fast. Democrat politicians also sent the cost of groceries soaring, but we are solving that too. The price of a Thanksgiving turkey was down 33% compared to the Biden last year.
It absolutely was not. It absolutely was not. Does anybody watching this believe the price of a turkey was down 33%, when in reality it was probably up 3 or 4% because of tariffs and because of inflation? But also, mind you, this same guy released a Thanksgiving shopping list from Walmart comparing this year's Thanksgiving meal to last year's, and he says, look, everything's cheaper. And it was a list that had less items on it. They just took the items off. They took the items off, and it was marginally cheaper. It would have been more expensive if they... Yeah, it's cheaper because this president tells us you don't need $12 for your child. You only need $1 or $2.
The price of eggs is down 82% since March, and everything else is falling
82%?
rapidly.
What?
And it's not done yet. But
Has anybody seen a price of eggs that was down 82%? What? Would that basically mean they're like free?
boy, are we making progress. Nobody can believe what's going on. Here are just some of the efforts that we have underway. You will see in your wallets and bank accounts in the new year. After years of record-setting falling incomes, our policies are boosting take-home pay at a historic pace. Under Biden, real wages plummeted by $3,000. Under Trump, the typical factory worker has seen a wage increase of $1,300. For construction workers, it's $1,800. For miners, we're bringing back clean, beautiful coal. It's $3,300.
Oh, just what we need, coal.
And for the first time in years, wages are rising much faster than inflation. Remember that rate, the wages, just look at it. Wages are going up much faster than inflation. How big is that? Very importantly, there are more.
So he admits
people
inflation is
working today
increasing.
than at any time in American history, and 100% of all jobs created since I took office have been in the private sector. Think of that. 100% of all jobs have been in the private sector rather than government, which is the only way to make a country powerful and great. This historic trend will continue. Already, I've secured a record-breaking $18 trillion of investment into the United States, which means jobs.
Actually, I just saw today Apple is going to continue making their products in India. They don't want to move things here. Tariffs didn't even work as a threat.
Wage increases, growth, factory openings, and far greater national security. Much of this success has been accomplished by tariffs.
Oh my
My
God.
favorite word, tariffs, which for many decades have been used successfully by other countries against us, but not anymore. Companies know that if they build in America, there are no tariffs, and that's why they're coming home to the USA in record numbers. They're building factories and plants at levels we haven't seen, AI, automobiles. We're doing what nobody thought was even possible, not even remotely possible.
This old man is losing his edge. You know, whatever skill Trump had to get people's attention, people are just kind of tuning out. I mean, think about it. I don't even think a lot of MAGA Trump supporters are watching this because this was so like sudden, and I don't think people are taking time out of their evening to watch. And even us, the real Americans, the patriots, the progressives, people are just tired of watching because so many people have told me, Josh, I don't even want to watch this tonight. I mean, this is such a by the numbers Trump speech so far. But let's see if he goes off script because we know he likes to do that too.
Never, frankly, been anything like it. 1 year ago, our country was dead. We were absolutely dead. Our country was ready to fail, totally failed. Now, we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's said by every.
What does he even mean by that? He says that all the time. What? We're the hottest country in the world? According to who? According to who?
Every single leader that I've spoken to over the last 5
Oh,
months.
okay.
Next year, you will also see the results of the largest tax cuts in American history that were really accomplished through our great, big, beautiful bill, perhaps the most sweeping legislation ever passed.
Well, it was surely sweeping in that it was the most debt added to our national deficit ever, added nearly $4 trillion to the national deficit. And you would think if that were the case, then we wouldn't have to see nearly 20 million Americans get kicked off their Medicaid, Medicare. That was not true. Millions of Americans losing their health insurance. And by the way, the tax cuts, sure, middle-class people like us might see a couple $100s off of our taxes. But actually, the data supports the reality, which is the billionaires and the multimillionaires are actually going to see the priority of cuts. The tax cuts are pivoted for the 1%.
Congress. We wrapped 12 different bills up into one beautiful bill. That includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. Under these cuts, many families will be saving between $11,000 and $20,000 a year, and next spring is projected to be the largest tax refund season of all time. Because of tariffs, along with the just passed One Big Beautiful Bill, Tonight, I am also proud to announce that more than 1,450,000, think of this, 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special, we call warrior dividend before Christmas, a warrior dividend in honor of our nation's founding in 1776. We are sending every soldier $1,776.
Wow, that's so symbolic. You're sending them like half a month's rent. Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, and by the way, he's going to do that because he wants people to start thanking the soldiers and thinking about the soldiers and supporting the soldiers getting their heads blown off in the Caribbean.
Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history.
Here we go.
A lot of difference a year makes. In addition, I'm doing what no politician of either party has ever done, standing up to the special interests to dramatically reduce the price of prescription drugs. I negotiated directly with the drug companies and foreign nations, which were taking advantage of our country for many decades, to slash prices on drugs and pharmaceuticals by as much as 400, 500, and even 600%. In other words, your drug costs will be plummeting downward.
In other words, your health insurance may cost potentially $1,000 a month under most plans because the Obamacare subsidies are being absolutely gutted right now. Sorry.
Use the threat of tariffs to get foreign countries who would never have done it to pay the cost of this giant dollar reduction. They stopped ripping us off, and it began as of 4 days ago. There has never been anything like this in the history of our country. Drugs have only gone up, but now they'll be going down by numbers never conceived possible. It's called most favored nation, and no president has ever had the courage or ability to get this done until now. The first of these unprecedented price reductions will be available starting in January through a new website, trumprx.gov. And these big price cuts will greatly reduce the cost of health care. I'm also taking on the gigantic health insurance companies that have gotten rich on billions of dollars of money that should go directly to the people. The money should go to the people, that's you, so they can buy their own health insurance, which will give far better benefits at much lower cost.
Oh yeah, nothing sounds better than just sending people some money that they may or may not even use for health insurance and letting the health insurance companies jack their prices. Because the health insurance companies know that every American is getting some money supposedly from the Trump administration. We'll see what that even is. So they're just going to raise their prices.
It will be far better health insurance. The current Unaffordable Care Act was created to make insurance companies rich. It was bad health care at much too high a cost. And you see that now in the steep increase in premiums being demanded by the Democrats, and they are demanding.
I know somebody that needs a little bit of health care.
It's their fault. It is not the Republicans' fault. It's the Democrats' fault. It's the Unaffordable Care Act, and everybody knew it. Again, I want the money to go directly to the people so you can buy your own health care. You'll get much better health care at a much lower price. The only losers will be insurance companies that have gotten rich, and the Democrat Party, which is totally controlled by those same insurance companies. They will not be happy, but that's okay with me because you, the people, are finally going to be getting great health care at a lower cost. Another major focus is the cost of energy. For years, the radical left Democrats exploited the green energy scam as an excuse to funnel many billions of dollars into their own massive slush funds, as their energy restrictions drastically drove up prices, and they drove them up at record levels. Electricity costs surged 30 to 100% under Biden, and the typical family lost $5,000 to $10,000 in higher energy costs. Think of that, $5,000 to $10,000 you lost On day one, I declared a national energy emergency. Gasoline is now under $2.50 a gallon in much of the country. In some states, it, by the way, just hit $1.99 a gallon. And within the next 12 months, we will have opened 1,600 new electrical generating plants, a record, and it's a record that won't be beaten by practically, I would say, by anybody, or certainly not very soon. Prices on electricity and everything else will fall dramatically. The Democrat inflation disaster, again,
the Democrat inflation disaster. This guy is just nonstop, man. It's just nonstop. By the way, Trump is such a fossil. This guy's a fossil. He loves the idea of short-term profit. Like, let's exploit the earth of its finite resources like coal and oil, pollute the earth. And these resources, they're finite, but let's just get rich now and then worry about it later. It's going to be way more expensive cleaning it all up. It's going to be way more expensive mitigating these disasters. Instead, we could be stimulating the economy with a Green New Deal.
Worst in the history of our country, also robbed millions of Americans of home ownership and indeed the American dream. The yearly cost of a typical new mortgage increased by $15,000 under Democrat rule. In 11 months, we've already gotten that annual cost down by $3,000, and it's coming down a lot lower. Wait till you see, the numbers are going to be shocking. And I'll soon announce our next chairman of the Federal Reserve, someone who believes in lower interest rates by a lot and mortgage.
Did he just admit that he's going to fire Jerome Powell? He just said he's going to announce the new chairman of the Federal Reserve. Am I missing something? Did he already say he was firing Jerome Powell? I thought he was happy with him temporarily.
Payments will be coming down even further early the new year, and you will see this. In the new year, I will announce some of the most aggressive housing reform plans in American history. A major factor in driving up housing costs was the colossal border invasion. We have never been invaded. This is the worst thing that, frankly, in my opinion, the worst thing that the Biden administration did to our country is the invasion at the border.
The worst thing that the Biden administration did is the invasion at the border. Look, he's about to talk about how immigrants are the reason why houses are so expensive. Because they all came in, right? And they bought up all the houses. Okay, sure. Let's pretend like that's true. Well then, how is it also true that they're so poor and desperate and bloodthirsty that they're robbing Americans, killing Americans, stealing our health insurance, stealing our SNAP and food benefits? That's how you know they think you're stupid. They think you're stupid. And by the way, you can't buy a home unless you have a Social Security number. You can't take out a mortgage unless you are an American citizen, right? It's just common sense.
The last administration and their allies in Congress brought in millions and millions of migrants and gave them taxpayer-funded housing while your rent and housing costs skyrocketed. Over 60% of growth in the rental market came from foreign migrants. At the same time, illegal aliens stole American jobs and flooded emergency rooms, getting free health care and education paid for by you, the American taxpayer. They also increased the cost of law enforcement by numbers so high that they are not even to be mentioned. For the first time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration as migrants go back home, leaving more housing and more jobs for Americans.
I know some people that should go back home.
In the year before my election, all net creation of jobs was going to foreign migrants. Since I took office, 100% of all net job creation has gone to American-born citizens, 100%. In the end, government either serves the productive, patriotic, hardworking American citizen, or it serves those who break the laws, cheat the system, and seek power and profit at the expense of our nation. Look at Minnesota, where Somalians have taken over the economics of the state.
Somalians have taken over Minnesota. Oh my God, this is such a fucking racist, disgusting, fascist slug we're dealing with. He's now going to go on about how Somali Americans, who are American citizens, by the way, like 99% of the people he's talking about are American citizens. And many of them have been citizens since the 90s when there was a big wave of immigrants from Somalia. And there's literally no problems happening in Minnesota. And he's about to tell you, oh, the reason why Minnesota is so dangerous and expensive, both of which aren't necessarily true, is because of Somali's invasion.
And have stolen billions and billions of dollars from Minnesota and indeed from the United States of America. And we're going to put an end to it. For so long
He's just racist.
Before my election, the vast majority of good and decent Americans were forced to watch as corrupt politicians plundered the halls of power, exploited our taxpayers, and pillaged every system that makes civilized
Someone said, what if he
society
died
function.
right there on live TV?
But
That would be
not
crazy.
anymore, and you see that every day. Not anymore. We're putting America first, and we are making America great
Don't tease
again.
me
Very
like
simple.
that.
We are making America great again. Tonight, after 11 months, our border is...
When he's finally gone, I never want to hear those 4 words ever again. Only if it's in a history class 20 years from now where we're teaching American children what not to do with this country.
Cure. Inflation is stopped. Wages are up. Prices are down. Our nation is strong. America is respected. And our country is back, stronger than ever before. We're poised for an economic boom, the likes of which the world has never seen. Soon we will host the World Cup and the Olympics, both of which I got. But most importantly, we will celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence.
It's very fitting that we're coming up on the 250th anniversary and potentially witnessing the collapse of our democracy. Like it's almost run its course. It's a strange coincidence that it's happening right at the anniversary. This is all transpiring in front of us.
Could be no more fitting tribute to this epic milestone than to complete the comeback of America that began
The
just
full
1
destruction
year ago.
of our Constitution, sure.
When the world looks at us next year, let them see a nation that is loyal to its citizens, faithful to its workers, confident to its identity, certain to its destiny, and the envy of the entire globe. We are respected again like we have never been respected before. To each and every one of you, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. God bless you all.
Wow, that was a totally useful and relevant use of our time. Notice how he didn't say anything about Venezuela. He knows it's so politically unpopular that he didn't even want to include that in his little recap. We might be a day away from war, and he didn't even mention it. And notice how he didn't mention the Epstein files. The deadline to release those is Friday, and he chose to not address that, even though he campaigned on releasing them. He campaigned on being the most transparent president in American history. He's actually been the complete opposite, probably the least transparent president in American history. What else did he not talk about? Leave a comment. What I think he meant to say was, oh, Doge was a massive failure. First of all, Vivek Ramaswamy left government immediately. Now he's running for governor of Ohio. He says, the Groypers have no place in the MAGA movement. Brother, no matter how hard you try, you will not be accepted into this white Christian nationalist cult, okay? They hate you because you're Indian, okay? They see right through you. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. But back to Doge. Elon Musk said they would prosecute fraud and cut $1 trillion. Well, they actually ended up wasting money. They found no fraud whatsoever. We never saw a single court case or trial or piece of evidence on that. They just cut random programs that they thought were woke and gay. Seriously, that's what they did. What else can we talk about? All the failures of this past year. It's been a disaster. It's been an unmitigated disaster, and honestly has gone worse than I expected. I knew this was going to be bad, but I didn't think the timetable for the destruction of our country was going to take place this quickly. So anyway, thank you for being here. I'm going to stay live for a bit, but I just want to say I'm a completely independent content creator. My name's Josh Greene. You've been watching The Progressive Pulse. Please consider supporting this show by subscribing. It's free. Helps make sure you never miss a video. Make sure you're following on every other social platform. I post short form videos on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads, and YouTube is where all my longer videos take place. So again, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. Please like this video, even if the show is coming to an end. That way everybody can see it after the fact, and it helps boost the channel, helps me share the truth about what's happening. I've never had a conversation with the government. I've never been funded by a political party or a foreign lobby, which is why it is so important that if you can, please contribute to my show, because it helps keep the lights on and it helps me keep moving forward. I'm doing this out of pure concern for the country, and I'm grateful that we are all in this together. At the end of the day, I am just an American, just equally stressed and worried, and I happen to have this microphone that I can help amplify all of our concerns. And through 1 year of doing this so far, we now have 500,000 people across social media that are feeling the same way. Thank you to everybody who is sending these $5 super chats on YouTube right now, like ZWLOHR and NYX. I appreciate the support. And if you want to support as well, you can become a paid member on YouTube. You can become a paid subscriber on Instagram. I post some behind the scenes content there as well. So thank you.